now?
Okay, this was during the probably the fourth year of the war, when wood was getting really scarce. People needed, and there was no gas or anything like that, or little electricity, so we needed wood to burn to cook our food in. So most of the wood was gone, the trees were gone, the fences were gone, and most of the things, some of the people that were burning their furniture to cook with. And Dad said one time, "Dad, I know some place where there's lots of wood." And he said there's a railroad right close to us, and the railroad is only used now by Germans, and so we could pick out one of the railroad ties and be good for a couple of weeks. And looked at him, like I always do. Okay. So at night we got a big rope and some digging tools and hammers and things like that. And we went out there, and the railroad was up about 10 feet from the ground on a big dike, and there was a road right next to it and the houses on the other side. So the houses were pretty close. And many of the people during the war have been got closer to the Germans because they would take care of them and not threaten them if they would do what the Germans would tell them. Most of the people, however, were still patriots, but there were two different kinds of people, Dutchmen in Holland at that time. Anyway, Dad started digging and helping and prying things and making a lot of noise, and I thought we hear that way out in Amsterdam. It's so loud at night when everything's so quiet. And then, after about 20 minutes or half an hour, a voice came from across the street and said, "You guys better quit or I'll shoot." And so it must have been one of those people that were very favorite for the Germans and Dutchmen. And I know it. And now I know they probably didn't even have a rifle or anything like that. So I looked at Dad, and I always do that when there was a decision to be made. And he just kept on working, and he shouted across the street, "Okay, well, shoot back," And they kept on working. So after another, maybe half an hour, or the whole thing probably lasted about an hour to get that railroad tie out. We tied it onto the rope and dragged it home and started to cut it up and cook with it in a little pan that we had made especially for that. And after the first cooking, we found out that you don't burn creosote railroad ties inside the house. It was just awful to stink, and so from then on we had to cook outside, and until we found something else. Yeah.